Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, Ghana ranks 5th in Africa with highest offshore oil rig demand, indicating significant oil and natural gas reserves. Also, 2024 budget document to be consistent with agreed IMF fiscal framework as government seeks to pursue programs aimed at growing economy and reducing debt stock. Plus, banks in discussion with the Ghana Revenue Authority over e-levy charge on borrowings from various mobile financial platforms. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwa. Thanks for being with us. Hello to our friends listening from Koforidon KTU Radio. First up, Ghana is ranked 5th in Africa with highest offshore oil rig demand, indicating significant oil and natural gas reserves. That's according to the 2024 State of African Energy by the African Energy Chamber. The country overtook Libya to take the 5th position. Here's more in this report.
An offshore rig demand is made of oil reserves, contingent resources, and exploration. It is a large structure all in water with facilities to drill wells, extract and process oil and natural gas. According to the African Chamber, Ghana's offshore rig demand shot up over that of 2022. This shows that the nation has some significant oil and natural gas reserves. The report also stressed that Ghana and 4 other African countries run off the top 5 countries with the highest percentage of contingent resources. This implies that rig demand in this particular area is sensitive to expected investment decisions. Ghana presently holds about 660 million barrels of proven oil reserves. Breaking down cumulative offshore rig demand from 2020 to 2030 per country reveals Egypt as the most active country with about 123 rig years, followed by Angola and Nigeria. Meanwhile, the number of wells drilled on the African continent is estimated to increase to 967 in 2023, a 6% year-on-year growth.
That was a Business Desk report. Now, the 2024 budget will be in line with the fiscal program and measures that government has agreed with the IMF. Here's George Jaffe with more on what he's picking up.
The development could mean that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, may come up with programs aimed at mobilizing more revenue, whilst improving public efficiency in spending. However, it is not clear for now what mobilization of more revenue would actually mean. That is, whether the finance minister will be focusing on efficiency in collections or reviewing the tax rates. The minister will also be pursuing initiatives that will bring the debt stock in line with what government has agreed with the IMF so that it will reach that sustainable level by 2028. The budget will also look at how to address some of the weaknesses in the energy sector. Financial stability will also be a critical area for government going into next year, as the minister will announce some fresh measures to help bring inflation down with support from the Bank of Ghana. Financial stability will also be a critical area for government going into next year, as the finance minister will announce some fresh measures in the budget and also look at how to bring down inflation rate with support from the Bank of Ghana. Joy Business understands that some final touches are being put to the document, with the necessary briefings taking place at the economic management team level. And later, there will be an engagement at Cabinet before the actual presentation next week. But for many, they'll be looking out for how government will be planning to contain expenditure, especially in an election year.
That's George Jaffe with that report. Now, partner for deal advisory at KPMG, Evans Asari, has expressed confidence that the $600 million, which is the second tranche of disbursement from the IMF, will be released by the end of November. He is of the view that the coming of the funds will be timely in supporting the local currency and help businesses plan for the festive season. Mr. Asari has been speaking to Joy Business.
So we believe that this tranche, second tranche that is coming sometime by the end of this month, should help us to navigate the Christmas pressure. Because during that time, there's quite a bit of pressure on the city. And therefore, this is quite timely. It will help us to get through that. And then next year, once we define 2024 economic policy, we'll know how we will then navigate through 2024 and address any other subsequent challenge with the depreciation. So businesses can have that certainty, that predictability that the city would experience relative stability. We don't expect it to depreciate beyond what we've seen in the last few months, and that businesses can then, based on that plan and their purchases and their whatever activities that they need.
Partner for deal advisory at KPMG, Evans Asari. Now, the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, GREDA, is asking government to take steps to consider reviewing some of the taxes on imported building materials in the 2024 budget. According to the group, high taxes on imported building materials result in high prices in the housing sector. Speaking to Joy Business, Executive Secretary Samuel Amegaibo appealed to government to take the bold step to reduce the taxes.
Prices are already high and feed costs are high. And you add these two costs, and government takes a percentage of that cost. It means that government itself is also benefiting from this high prices. So maybe government can look at the taxes which can be internally controlled. As for international market going up, you can't do much. As for fees going high, you can't do much. But the taxes that we slap in addition to all this wahala we face in bringing this material, it's an area that government can look at. So that maybe instead of the percentage of the prices, meaning tax components.
Executive Secretary of GREDA Samuel Amegaibo. Well, the Joy Business Pre-Budget Thought Leadership Forum will come off on Monday, November 13 from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. This edition will focus on examining government's fiscal policies as against revenue mobilization targets and the risk of budget overruns in an election year. Here's more.
This edition will be held on the theme, the 2024 budget, maintaining a tight fiscal policy and the business-friendly environment in an election year. The panel will be made up of Professor John Gachi, Dean, School of Business, University of Cape Coast; Professor Ijapoma Jekedako, Senior Lecturer, University of Ghana Business School; Dr. Humphrey Eyimdake, President, Association of Ghana Industries; Mark Bedu Abuaje, CEO, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry; and former Minister of Finance, Seth Tekpe. It will be live on Joy FM, as well as the Joy News channel, and also on all Joy Businesses social.
All right, so do remember it's next week, Monday, November 13, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., the Joy Business Pre-Budget Thought Leadership Forum. Now, the founder of the Accra Business School, Bishop Gideon Titiofe, is making a strong case for government to be heavy on investments for women SMEs. A report by the World Bank indicates women-led SMEs constitute about 50% of all businesses in the country, a figure that underscores their economic importance. As a result, Bishop Titiofe says government's quest to support the private sector in the 2024 budget should have policies to support these women. He spoke to Joy Business after a briefing on the Ladies in Leadership Awards.
Government should come out with policies that can support women in this sector. And I mean, government has no business in business, but government has a say in business. And one way in which government's voice can be heard in business is to be able to provide financial support for women who are braving the storm and are initiating entrepreneurial ventures and creating jobs, increasing incomes, and reducing poverty. These women need to be helped. And I think that government must come out with policies that are targeted at helping women access capital at a very relatively cheap cost.
Bishop Gideon Titiofe is founder of the Accra Business School. You're listening to the Joy Business Report. Commercial banks say they're still in discussions with the Ghana Revenue Authority over e-levy charge on borrowings from various mobile platforms. There have been reports that some financial institutions are charging 1% as transaction fee for loans granted on mobile applications like Quick Loan. This is despite a directive from the Bank of Ghana for these firms to freeze the charge. Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa, has been giving some clarity on the issue.
We have been in discussions with GRA together with our telco partners, because GRA has put up a proposal that the e-levy act, because the micro lending that takes place on your phone and on my phone and to the micro sector, people borrowing 500 Ghana, 300 from banks using the telco platform, it's seen as eligible for e-levy charge. And therefore, that discussion is ongoing. The Commissioner General is insistent that it captures it, it's in scope. So
John Ewa is Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks. Our next Investor Eye, and today we'll tell you about some of the investment scams used on unsuspecting investors. Emmanuel Mensah-Pia is Director in charge of Risk Management Department at the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Then there's the reciprocity tactic. With that one, they'll give you something as a bait to invest. either something physical, or they may even say that, okay, if you invest, we'll give you a discount payment and so on and so forth. It will surprise you that sometimes they even give things that you can't get anywhere.